A friend said that she had an electric guitar she was looking for a home for. I told her that I was always looking for a new guitar project and I would love to take it off her hands. Although the guitar was about 10 years old, it looked new, and the typical Stratocaster style pickup sounded great. The pots were a bit scratchy and one of the 5 positions on the selector switch wasn't working. The real problem was the neck. It felt very uncomfortable in my hand. So I put the whole project aside and waited for inspiration. My friend and guitar tech, Dave Treude of the Treude Guitar Shop, who you'll meet in a few minutes, had just finished building another Telecaster style guitar with a graphic wrap on the top and headstock. The graphics resembled a vintage pinball machine, and this gave me an idea. I had seen a bass online a few years ago with artwork on the body and the headstock from the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper album cover, and I had wanted a guitar or bass like that ever since. So what is a graphic wrap? You see them all the time, but usually as an advertisement on a car or a truck. It is artwork printed onto a vinyl-like backing that can be applied to a smooth surface, and it is flexible enough to wrap over contours in the shape, like a car fender. As you can imagine, the material is durable and color fast, designed to be exposed to the elements, not to mention car washes. So I asked Dave if he thought I could get a wrap of the Sgt. Pepper's cover album for the top of this guitar body, which was flat and shaped roughly like a vintage Les Paul Jr. He said yes, but there was still the problem of the unplayable neck. He told me to bring him the body and he would see if he could fit a different neck onto it. I asked about a Telecaster neck because I had always loved the unique shape of the headstock. So it looked like we were going to assemble what is called a Frankenstein guitar. It would have a Gibson Les Paul style body, Fender Telecaster neck, with the electronics package of a Fender Stratocaster. The project was on. I made a computer rendering of how I would position the album art on the body shape, placed it so it best showed the Beatles and the Sgt. Pepper drumhead. I remembered that his pinball machine guitar had a wrap on the headstock, and we decided that would work. So I worked up a rendering of that too. He submitted the art to his friend Linda, a graphic designer, and 1 week later, we received it. Dave prepped everything before I got there, and then he slowly and carefully applied the wrap, taking care to keep it aligned and not to stretch it, applying it right over the pickguard. Once he was finished, he gave me the body and the headstock wrap to take home. My job was to carefully cut around the pickguard, freeing it up so the electronics could be mounted to the underside of it. I carefully added the headstock wrap and began ordering the additional parts I would need, like the tuning machines. The tuners were custom designed to look like my favorite Gibson Clouson keys, but in line on one side to fit the Telecaster headstock. To make them fit the pre-drilled holes in the headstock, I also had to order a set of conversion ferrules. I ordered 2 gold string trees, 3 new pots, orange drop capacitors, a Fender 5-way switch, a headstock mounted tuner, strap locks, and lastly, the strings. I delivered all the electronic parts to Dave and he wired them up. We met to reattach the pickguard and reinstall the bridge. The other parts were added, and I left the guitar with him for a Treude special setup. Of course, when I got it back, it played and sounded great, and visually it was exactly what I'd been wanting for a long time. Let's go to Dave. First, let's talk about the modifications to the guitar. Did a different neck pose any real challenges?
The particular challenge with the Peppercaster was getting the body to accept a Telecaster neck it was not built for. The solution was simple. We needed to shim the neck pocket to have the neck fit properly. One of the other concerns we had was the scale length of the strings and its relationship to the bridge.
How about the new wiring? Any issues there?
The first goal was to rewire the existing pickups with new pots and new orange drop caps. The Fender 5-way switch was a little too tall for the cavity, but we worked around it.
How many guitars have you wrapped before, and do you find that that's hard to do?
To date, I've wrapped approximately 5 guitars, and it is a challenge, but once you get one done, you learn from your mistakes.
Can you use any artwork on a guitar?
When you wrap a guitar, you can pretty much use any artwork you wish, but you do have to pay attention to where the artwork falls as it relates to hardware on the guitar itself.
Let's close by hearing Dave play something for us.